Imagine a window. It's open, and you can hear laughter, music, and the sounds of celebration. It seems so vibrant and alive. You want to be a part of it, to experience the joy that seems to pour in through that open window. But here's the catch. This window is letting in a draft. It's a draft of negativity, self-doubt, or maybe even something toxic. It feels good for a moment, this rush of familiarity, but it lingers, leaving you cold and unhappy. We've all been there. We hold on to relationships, jobs, or habits that no longer serve us. We tell ourselves it's because they make us happy, even when deep down we know they don't. We cling to what's comfortable, even if it's slowly draining us. Why? Because change is scary. Letting go is hard. But here's the truth. Holding on to what hurts us is like keeping that window open, letting the draft chill us to the bone. It's time to recognize that sometimes the most courageous and loving act we can do for ourselves is to simply close the window. Think about something you're holding on to, something that you know isn't good for you. It could be a relationship that leaves you feeling drained and unappreciated. Maybe it's a job that makes you feel stuck and unfulfilled. Or perhaps it's a habit, like negative self-talk, that keeps you trapped in a cycle of self-doubt. These things, however appealing they may seem on the surface, weigh us down. They prevent us from growing and discovering who we truly are. They hold us back from experiencing the joy and fulfillment we deserve. Imagine carrying a heavy suitcase everywhere you go. That's what it's like to hold on to things that hurt us. It's exhausting. It drains our energy and prevents us from living our lives to the fullest. How do we know when it's time to let go? Our bodies are incredibly intuitive. They send us signals when something isn't right. Do you feel a knot in your stomach when you think about a particular person or situation? Do you find yourself making excuses for someone else's behavior? These are signs that something is off. It's easy to ignore these feelings, to brush them aside and pretend they don't exist. But ignoring them only makes them stronger. It's like ignoring a small leak in a pipe. Eventually, it will become a much bigger problem. Pay attention to how you feel when you're around certain people or in certain situations. Do you feel energized and uplifted or drained and depleted? Your feelings are your guide. They are telling you what nourishes your soul and what depletes it. Closing the window on something that's hurting us takes courage. It means facing our fears and stepping outside of our comfort zones. It means acknowledging that something we once cherished is no longer serving us. But here's the thing about courage. It's not the absence of fear. It's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's about choosing ourselves, even when it's hard. It's about prioritizing our well-being, even when it feels selfish. Remember, you are strong enough to close the window. You are brave enough to walk away from what's hurting you. And you are worthy of a life filled with joy, love, and fulfillment. Section 5. Stepping into the breeze of change. Closing the window is just the first step. Once it's closed, you might feel a rush of different emotions: relief, sadness, even anger. Allow yourself to feel these emotions. Don't judge them. They are all part of the healing process. Now, take a deep breath and feel the fresh air. The draft is gone. You might feel a little exposed at first, a little vulnerable, but you are also open to new possibilities, new opportunities, and new beginnings. Change can be scary, but it can also be incredibly liberating. It's an opportunity to redefine ourselves, to discover new passions, and to create a life that truly aligns with our values and aspirations. Section 6. Embracing the discomfort of growth. Letting go is not always a linear process. There will be days when you miss the familiar draft, when you question your decision to close the window. That's okay. It's normal to feel a sense of loss, even when we know something is no longer good for us. Remember that growth often happens outside of our comfort zones. It's in those moments of discomfort that we learn the most about ourselves, about our resilience, and about our capacity for love and forgiveness. Be patient with yourself. Healing takes time. There will be setbacks along the way, but don't let them discourage you. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Celebrate your progress and keep moving towards the light. Section 7. The joy of open hands and an open heart. When we cling tightly to things, we close ourselves off to new experiences. But when we learn to let go, we open our hands and our hearts to receive the abundance that life has to offer. Imagine your life as a beautiful garden. Holding onto what hurts us is like letting weeds choke the flowers. Letting go is like pulling out those weeds and allowing the flowers to bloom in all their glory. When we release what no longer serves us, we create space for new love, new friendships, and new opportunities to blossom in our lives. We become more present, more engaged, and more able to experience the simple joys of life. Section 8. Building a life you don't need to escape from. Ultimately, closing the window is about creating a life that we don't need to escape from. It's about filling our lives with people and experiences that bring us joy, that nourish our souls, and that inspire us to grow. This doesn't mean that life will suddenly become perfect or that we will never face challenges again. But it does mean that we will be better equipped to handle those challenges. We will have the strength and resilience to face whatever life throws our way. Start by identifying the things that bring you joy, the things that make you feel alive. Make time for these things in your life. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who encourage you to be your best self, and who love you unconditionally. Section 9. Your journey to a brighter tomorrow. You are capable of creating a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. Trust yourself, trust the journey, and never be afraid to close the window on what's hurting you. Remember, you are not alone. We all have windows we need to close. We all have things we need to let go of. But in the letting go, we find freedom, we find peace, and we find the courage to create a life that is truly our own. Take a deep breath and take that first step towards the life you deserve. The journey starts now.